Hello and greetings. Welcome to the second Fireside Chat, GatherVerse Summit Day 2. And with me, I am very privileged to have the one and only Layla, and we will be talking about women guiding the next era of spatial computing. Layla, we're very thankful to have you here, and I would like you to introduce yourself and tell us what inspired you to be here with us.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for including me. I'm honored to be here. I will say I apologize. I woke up with a cold this morning, so there might be some stuffiness. My energy levels are lower than usual, but I'll do my best to stay bouncy, so to speak. My name is Leila Amir Sadeghi. I have been working in technology since the late 90s, so in the digital space. Very, very fortunate to have worked for companies or with companies or do my own thing where we've done first to markets in a lot of different ways. My first interactive, immersive, experiential experience was for Adobe in 2007. In 2008, I did my first AR project with Mattel. This was, the technology was way not there. But I fell in love with the promise of what it could offer. I've worked across video games and entertainment and launched a location-based entertainment company of my own in partnership with a few people back in 2018, I want to say, in San Francisco. It's called One Dome, launching the first mass mixed reality consumer experience called the Unreal Garden. And if we get a chance, we'll talk a little bit about that because some of that plays into this. We were very early to market, learned a lot. I'm not sure that I would do another startup again, but it was an incredible experience and brought me into the XR and spatial space in a thought leadership capacity. And then have since the last 5 years worked for Microsoft, started in AltSpace VR as a product manager, Microsoft Mesh, and then the last couple of years working in an innovation engineering team, accelerating AI, robotics, vision, working with customers on doing things that have not been done before that really help create efficiencies in their business. It's a bit of a longer introduction, but that's hopefully gives the context of my background.
Yes, it does. And I really wish you a quick recovery. Please drink you
Oh,
ginger.
thank you. Yeah, I'm sure it's just the cold. It's just energetically annoying.
And Layla, I'm listening to you, and all I can hear is a wealth of experience. And it's something that the audience that is looking up to you right now, they're asking, what is the impact of women like you and many others who are watching, building and accessing immersive technologies that connect people across physical and digital worlds?
Yeah. Well, I think that you just used one of the words that I would use is connection, right? The connection is really key to that. I think in order, the three words I like to think of as connection, collaboration, community. In order to collaborate or bring people together to do things together, you really need to create that connection. Connection comes with eye contact or the other forms, whether it's shared experience or, similar. And then that leads to community. I think as women, we also approach the products a little differently. We don't just think about sort of what's on the screen, but also bringing in things like safety and privacy, accessibility, comfort, identity. I think it's sort of natural to think in that way. And I've always said that immersive technologies, immersion, full stop, it doesn't have to be necessarily a digital technology to be immersed in something, is a very visceral experience. It's a very powerful experience. It can create empathy and create shifts in people akin to plant medicine. And that I think it's that powerful. And so I think, with as women, we tend to, we know that, we leverage it and really bring the kind of content, even if it's even if it's entertaining and storytelling driven, the kind of content that really matters. So couching sugar-coated vegetables, use reality as fantasy as opposed to creating fantasy as escape.
Yes, and just a quick follow-up to that. When you talk about immersion, and you have mentioned, it's more of of the contact than having a physical gadget or something. How does that intersect with AI, with the current evolution with AI merging with spatial computing? How do you see that play out? And what do you see the role of women? Are you seeing a lot of women getting into that field? What is your experience so far?
Yeah, so I would say it's interesting. I'd say that the progress and where we're seeing adoption the greatest over the last couple of years, and especially in the last probably 12 to 18 months, I'd say, is on the enterprise side.
Yes.
Think of smart factories. That is actually, manufacturing is a great example of where immersion is playing out. Operator training, for example, take a machine, troubleshooting. There is a aging out demographic in a lot of these fields, construction, manufacturing, and other. There are a lot of subject matter expertise that is being lost in play, and so being able to empower anyone to be able to troubleshoot and even potentially add their own learnings into something, whether it's using a combination of voice input, AI, natural language, voice input, output, to adding a spatial, whether it's glasses, creating contextual awareness in real time. You're providing information as it's needed. It's also able to leverage ML and models to learn, to look historically, pattern analysis, be proactive and predictive. Seeing a lot more women in the space. It's really, really comforting to see in these large corporations and enterprises being part of driving this sort of new way of being, and also in thinking through how the experience is delivered. That's really important. It can't just be called, okay, we're going to add these devices and leverage AI in certain ways, and then that's it. It has to be very natural. It has to sort of make me feel comfortable enough to engage with it without having to think about how to engage with it, so to speak. But a lot of the enterprise success or learnings is coming from learnings from the consumer space over the last few years. Spatial is really quickly becoming the default interface pattern. So what the design principles that make for a great immersive story also
Yes.
make for a great smart factory digital twin experience as well.
Yes, and I feel the same way when it comes to usability and design. It has to be something that is very comfortable. And I think we were having that conversation yesterday. But let me just dive a little bit deeper into spatial computing. How can spatial computing transition from a specialized capability into an everyday human experience? How do you make it available for everyone?
Oof, yeah. We're not there yet. I mean, I think two things before even just thinking about the tactical is trust and social acceptance. I mean, trust is going to be, and if we think of spatial, if we think of wearables as part of that, so even if it's almost invisible, take it to a contact lens scenario, or whether it's just glasses, or you're being recorded. I mean, there is an aspect where, in order for it to be working, there's a recording happening in real time. It is capturing content to be able to then contextualize and provide you content. And so there has to be a lot of governance and trust in this for it to become widely adopted. But it's got to be frictionless. It's got to be comfortable. It's got to be almost invisible. I don't think there is an app that makes it, right? I believe that, the world becomes your experience. I do think that in that way, ubiquity happens if it's natural input, contextually aware. It has to just be, it can't feel like something in addition to how I live my life. It has to feel a part of my life. That's at least my opinion.
Yes, it has to feel like it's part of our lives, and just I'm a little bit curious on that. Do you think we're far from that reality? Is it something that can happen? Please tell me your prediction.
I mean, I think it's happening in certain contexts. Is it something that's going to be ubiquitous in our daily lives. You walk down, the streets of London, for example, and you see everybody
Mhm.
in. I don't think the devices are there yet. I do think that, pushing the compute to the phone and keeping that in your pocket and then having something that allows for, I think that's, we're getting closer. I think CES showed a lot more wearables. Again, I think you have to, it's can't be novelty, right? There has to be utility to it, whether for whoever the audience is. And
Yes.
so I think, are we close? It's hard to say, because we've been talking about this conversation in different forms for 5, 6, 7
Mhm.
years. Every year we're like, it's this year. I think spatial
Mhm.
computing has finally reached a place that's where is it going to be everyday use for everyday people? I don't know. 2026 is that year, but we'll
Yes.
see.
We will see. Thank you for beautifully letting us know. We've had decades of experience in a massive world, and which lessons from those decades translate into guidance for women entering spatial computing today? Young women are watching you, and so much people are looking up to you. What is that guide that you would tell them for close off?
Um, I mean, I would say first of all, like, don't fear the idea. If the idea feels too big, don't run from it. But definitely take bite-sized chunks. Don't confuse novelty with value.
Mm,
Got to create experiences or content or or contextualized delivery in a way that makes somebody come back, or want to continue using it, or can't continue coming back to the experience. And it's not just a Saturday night thing, for example. So I think definitely considering, the novelty aspect will wear thin very quickly. Um, and I'd probably say, like, just, it's really important to think about multidisciplinary teams, right? It's not just engineers, it's creators, it's filmmakers, it's, the ethics side of it, it's the safety side of it. I think you need to bring in experts at the right moments, but there needs to be cross discipline, in order to really encapsulate, or ensure that you are approaching it holistically and thinking of all the elements that need to be integrated from the start.
yes, beautiful. From what I'm getting from you, it also takes a lot of patience for young women and people who are looking at you. And just to finalize this fireside chat, where do you see the next major breakthrough for spatial computing and multisensory storytelling?
Yeah. So I don't, we tried this, in 2018. I think embodied AI is going to do a lot. So the ability to, I think embodied AI is going to change the game. The ability to be in an experience and to actually define my own experience in real time, shift and change the story or my environment. In real time, I think that's really important. One thing we did with the Emerald Garden, uh, which I don't think we have time for a video, but it was, there were layers of immersion. So there was the
Yeah.
physical, there were projections that were passive, there were projections that were interactive. We had a HoloLens, that had AR content, and the interaction would be between the HoloLens and projections, and you could, create magic around you. And we did, and, do ambisonic sound, spatial sound in situ of content, as well as eventually adding haptics. And so I do believe that multisensory is going to be critical, especially, again, it's like, how do we live our day, day to day? Take out an immersive experience. You feel, you touch, you see, and these are the things that, like, this is where I think the power comes in, because you can take reality, like I said, and create fantasy, Trojan horse the message without preaching to people. It could be a very fun story, but you're talking about the climate, or you're talking about this or that, the other. And so I think, think of it that way. Design to how we live our lives today.
Awesome. Layla, you were very kind with your insights and your time, and would love to have you back. But as for now, I'll just say thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing what you've experienced throughout your career. And it's a very good gather for us when it comes to this
Yeah,
passage.
it's a great gather. Thank you for setting this up, and thank you for having these kind of events. I think it's so important for women to feel comfortable and not avoiding technology and technology fields. And I think we bring a special power and magic and knowledge that can truly create lasting experiences. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Lynn. It's nice.
That's a wrap. Over to you, GatherVerse team. Thank you.